Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Car Thieves Now Have Immunity. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure you click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Now, let's get started. We're going to tell you something so extraordinary that you're not going to believe it, but I assure you that it is true. As you may have heard, there are mayors, city managers, and prosecutors in many cities and states now that have issued stand-down orders for the police departments in their towns, telling them, do not pursue criminals. That's right. Do not pursue criminals. Now, they claim that the reason for this is that police pursuits can harm innocent people. I don't think anyone believes that explanation, and most people probably believe that there are other reasons for these stand-down orders being issued to the police, including the police themselves. One news network recently showed video of the police parked on a major street with lots of pedestrians walking around, and the police car itself had their blue lights flashing. So there's absolutely no way to miss them, no way to misunderstand what's going on. They were making their presence known. They were deliberately heightening their visibility and letting everybody know we are here. So the cops were just sitting there in their vehicle as pedestrians and other innocent people were walking around on the sidewalk. Video surveillance cameras then record a car driving by and opening fire randomly on the innocent people walking up and down the sidewalk. They shot a number of these folks while the police themselves did nothing. They did not pursue, they did not chase, they did not leave their parking spot. Now, they could have chased them very easily, but they chose to ignore these murderers because they were issued stand-down orders by their superiors. Once again, they were following the orders of their bosses. It's not like the police were lazy or uninterested. Their hands were tied. If you watch the video of all that was unfolding at the time of this mass shooting, it looks like there's absolutely nothing being done. The only thing that happens is that the criminals drive casually away. They don't speed away like most criminals used to do. They just slowly drive away. Now, that's really significant. Why is that important? Because this tells us that the criminals now have zero fear of the police. When the police themselves refuse to enforce the law, you have to ask yourself whether you should be carrying a legally acquired license to carry a concealed weapon, especially in that town. But really, in any town where your mayor, your city manager, or your prosecutors have issued stand-down orders to law enforcement. If the police aren't pursuing criminals and that city or state doesn't allow people to legally carry concealed weapons, then you have to ask yourself, whose side are they on? So all of this is now creating this new phenomena where car thieves and other criminals are acting like they have immunity from the police. We used to live in an era where only diplomats had immunity from prosecution. That has now apparently been de facto extended to street criminals. After all, if you can commit a crime right by an occupied police car and they're not going to pursue you, then that will make criminals feel like they have the same level of protection and immunity as diplomats worldwide. They're untouchable at that point. If the police don't pursue criminals, then realistically speaking, how will they ever get caught or prosecuted? If car thieves know the police will not pursue them, then you have to assume they will start stealing more cars than ever. Now, a reasonable person now has to assume that car theft in their neighborhood and throughout their entire cities is going to explode. It's going to go from being a problem to a nightmare. They're going to take cars at will. It's going to rise to a level of commonality that people have never seen before. If the police will not pursue car thieves, then what does that do for the overall crime in your neighborhood and in your city? If you're, a reasonable person, you have to assume that all forms of crime, not just car theft, will explode, and that's going to make living or doing business in your town next to impossible. Everybody sort of hopes that it won't happen to them, but that is no longer a reasonable expectation. With high crime comes the likelihood of a drop of home prices in your area and in your town. Why? Why would anybody want to buy a home in a very dangerous area where the police do not enforce the laws? I don't care how beautiful or recently renovated your home is. I don't care how many times you've lowered the prices. I don't care how many new real estate brokers you've tried over the last year to sell your your house rather. What good is any of that if crime in the area is exploding? It will make it impossible to live there safely. So, what should car owners do? We recommend car alarms with GPS tracking systems so that owners can locate their cars right after they're stolen. That's not as easy as it sounds. Why? Because your car may have been stolen and taken directly to a chop shop or parked in the driveway of the criminals that stole it. So what are you going to do? You're going to go get it yourself? That's not recommended. But if you do find it and you call the police, the question becomes, will they come and get it, or will they refrain from treating the criminals rudely, and that's going to be a problem. So what should car owners do? We recommend car alarms with GPS tracking systems so that owners can locate their cars right after they're stolen. But there's another issue. What if you found your car and you call the police and they don't come? Then what do? You're going to risk going into the driveway or the garage of the guy that stole your car and trying to extract it from there? That may not be very smart. So what else can you do? Well, some people are installing hidden kill switches. You might also want to install an outdoor camera by your house with a built-in motion detector that will alert your phone whenever somebody tampers with your car. If somebody does try and steal your car, don't try and take the law into your own hands. I don't think any car is worth getting shot at. Just call the police and let them know. This problem is no longer limited to just a handful of cities. This is now a nationwide problem. If your politicians believe in a certain view of law enforcement, then they're probably going to demand that their police officers stand down and not pursue criminals, and that's going to make life in certain areas a living hell. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. I want to tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up in the future. So we want to encourage you to subscribe to our free channel. Click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new story, and check back and watch our shows regularly. Thank you for watching, and we shall see you soon. Bye-bye.